Hello, my name is Kevin Ryan. I'm a partner at Citrin Cooperman, and I have the pleasure today to sit with Dan Kilcoyne, the president and CEO of Mini Melts Ice Cream. Dan, thank you very much for your time and look forward to speaking with you.
Good to be
Can
here.
you tell us a little bit about Mini Melts and what's going on these days?
Sure. So Mini Melts ice cream is a 14% cryogenically frozen beaded ice cream. And that's a really big word for super cold, very tiny novelty ice cream that we sell all across the United States.
And I know from working with you, business has been brisk, shall we say, over the last 2 years. What's going on?
Yeah, things have been really good on the Mini Melt side. We've been fortunate to grow to over 23 distribution centers throughout the United States. A lot of that was actually precipitated through and during COVID. So our entire business model changed almost like everybody else's overnight, where we were very heavy on the automated kiosks or vending machine side of things. All of those venues basically closed down that we had. So all of our sports and entertainment, all of our family entertainment centers, malls, ice rinks, we operate a few thousand automated kiosks throughout the United States, and all of those were closed down. So fortunately for us, we were already into a DSD model, a direct store delivery model. And we really just put the main focus over, we say the last 2 years, but it's something we had been building for about 4 or 5 years. So we've been fortunate to gain national contracts with some great retailers. We work with Wawa nationwide. We're working with 7-Eleven nationwide. So we're operating about 25,000 points of sale throughout the United States right now.
Wow, that's very impressive. And I think about a couple different things when you mentioned that. The first thing, and it's become such a hot topic, is company culture. A lot of businesses aren't necessarily going into the office, and like us right now, they're using computers to communicate. But with your growth, how have you been able to keep the company culture? Because I know you've worked very hard through the years to build that culture. And now when you're all over the United States, how are you making sure you're able to maintain and grow that culture?
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially for us. We started essentially with one employee, one driver. So, as we got started and have grown, we've really built the business on making sure that we understand what we're asking everybody else to do. And we won't ask somebody to do something that we wouldn't ask for them to do. So as we've grown into these other parts of the country, it's hard because we can't be in person with everybody. Our team's grown from, we're over nearly 300 employees at this point nationwide. So for us, it's really important about getting in market as frequently as we can. We do an annual conference where we bring all of our team down to Orlando, and basically it's a thank you for all the grind that we put them through in the summer, because we're pretty tough seasonal product for sure. But for us, it's really just understanding that if I'm on a call or a Zoom or in person with one of our team members or one of our customers, I'm able to explain to them how to fix that vending machine or how we merchandise that store or what we've been through in terms of delivery and stuff, because we've been there with them this entire time.
Very, very impressive. And to be at over 300 employees now, that is quite an accomplishment. Like any manufacturer or like any other manufacturer, I'm sure supply chain issues have been frustrating as heck and has made you do things differently than you did previously. Can you give us a few examples of how you're overcoming it, and what do you see for the future also? I know that's a long question, but there are so many issues in the manufacturing sector.
Yeah, definitely an understatement for sure. For us, we're no different than any other manufacturer throughout the United States, right? there's this massive whiplash effect of, the problem's over here. No, the problem's now over here, right? So I would love to say that, we've been in front of all of those trends, but I would be completely lying to you. For us, what we've realized is we're fortunate, right? We sell two products. We sell mini melts in a prepackaged cup. We sell mini melts in a bulk bag. They're the two things that we sell. So as long as we have that, we're ahead of the game. So about a year and a half ago, we increased our production facility and actually took on more space. So now where we used to have 3 months worth of inventory, we have 1 year worth of inventory on hand for all the non-perishables. So cups, spoons, lids, bags, things like that. That has alleviated some of the pain. But you just never know where the next supply chain issue is going to come in. So we do a weekly ops call, basically to go over, hey, where are we from an inventory perspective? What could the potential issues be? What are we not thinking of? But it's not an easy time to be a small business in the U.S. right now.
That is for sure. And how about technology? How has that helped you deliver service, keep your customers happy, right? Because if the product's not there, your customers, their children are yearning for it. How are you getting that to them? And has technology helped you? I would imagine it has.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about, we're a relatively young company. We're a nimble company. So for us, as we've grown, we'll take the DSD segment of the business as an example. For us, we only manufacture and sell one product. So the freezer case that we have in those stores, we need to make sure is 100% filled with our product. So one of the things that we do that is different than most companies is we actually have an app. In no way are we a tech company, but we have an app that all of our field team uses. So we're able to see in real time what it is that they're seeing. So what does our freezer look like? Is it welcoming to the customer? Is it filled? We can see product levels because certain flavors move more in other parts of the country than they do in other areas. So for us to be able to see what our drivers and merchandisers and technicians are seeing in the field in real time is really, really useful, because we go back to that company culture. We need to know that, hey, every piece of our equipment should look like this. And if it doesn't, we can go back and see what happened.
Oh, very interesting. I know that another important facet of the work you do is giving back to the community and helping out, especially in the educational sector, right? Can you talk to me about that?
Sure. Yeah. So, we started our business in high school. Actually, we were with another company, and the high school that we went to was a school called Father Judge High School in Northeast Philadelphia. And really what they provided my family is just unbelievable, right? I mean, they gave us a platform where we had no rent, we had very little risk. I mean, we were rolling an ice cream freezer every lunch period, every special event, and anything that we could. But it gave us the ability to make mistakes, and they weren't costly mistakes. They allowed us to try things out without the, fear of losing. I have 3 kids now and a wife, to decide, hey, we're going to start an ice cream company up at this point. That risk would feel a lot heavier than it did when I was a freshman in high school. So for us, educationally, one, it's our customer base, right? I mean, for us, our product is definitely driven more towards the younger generations. But we feel it's really important for us to give back, especially to Father Judge. I'm also on a board, Holy Family University, where all we want is to be able to provide the same experiences that we were given at such a young age, where people can learn personal finance and life lessons, so that if they're coming out of high school and maybe they don't want to go to college, they don't have to take that burden on, but they understand that there's an entrepreneurial route And then the same thing from the university level.
One of the things I've seen with other food manufacturers is the COVID effect, right? We know about supply chain issues, but how about like packaging and the product, Dan? How have you had to kind of be nimble and transfer what you were doing previously to post-COVID?
Yeah, it's an interesting world. As we started our business, primarily we were retail operations, so physically scooping the product out, handing you the cup of mini melts. As time went on, we went to the automated kiosk program, which is really what allowed us to grow nationally. We operated about 1,000 locations back when we started the automated program. About 2009, we'd started with Walmart stores and other stores across the country. What we found during COVID was nobody wanted to touch that machine. So all the machines were closed off because that was apparently what the potential issue was. We've then seen this whiplash effect that as we've came out of the pandemic, a lot of consumers are looking for individually prepackaged and from the automated kiosk program. So if you think about our theme park and family entertainment sector, in just the last 4 years, that industry's went from we have to have one-on-one guest experience to nobody can physically touch these vending machines to our customer doesn't want to communicate with anybody. They just want their product when they want it, and they want to be able to press, cotton candy and get that cup of ice cream. So, and I think that trend is likely to continue. We do see when you look at some of these mobile apps like GoPuff, who's a great client of ours, it's about that immediate consumption, right? The guests want the product when they want the product. And I think you'll see a transient shift away from kind of a stale, this is our cart, this is where you can get it, and this is the only place that you can get it. So that's changed our packaging quite a bit. It's also changed the volume of packaging that we go through quite a bit. But it's been an interesting few years for sure.
Another issue that is confronting many businesses is the inflationary time that we're living in, and to combat that, the interest rates that are being increased, it's seemingly monthly. And you're a business that is very capital intensive with your needs. How are you kind of wrangling through?
Yeah, it's in terms of looking out to the horizon, there definitely seems some choppy water ahead. For a business like mine, as you said, we're extremely CapEx heavy. Everything that we put out has to be at a negative 40-degree temperature. That goes back to that cryogenic comment I made earlier. So that we don't fit into traditional frozen. We don't fit into the upright freezers that you see in a supermarket or into a convenience store. So everything that we're doing, bringing on new customers, it's a CapEx item for us. The interest rates are concerning from a small business perspective because I understand how hot the economy is. I understand the purpose of trying to cool it off. It's hard for us to plan out what next year or multiple years look like when you have such a rapidly increasing interest rate. The ways that we've combated that, quite honestly, has been just reinvesting through cash flow. We've tried to find as many cost efficiencies as possible, but they're limited because of both the supply chain and just the state of the economy and the workforce right now. So for us, I think, as we look into 23, we stay the course with what we have. We're fortunate we have 1 year's of inventory on hand. So that helps from that standpoint that, we've purchased stuff through cash. We're holding it. We'll work through that. But I'll be excited when we start to hear that those rates start to level off and eventually come down.
Sure. And on the inventory side, so you have more inventory than you've had previously, and some of that you can make internally, but you're still dependent upon suppliers, right? And you're at their mercy. How has your decision-making changed in that regard?
Yeah, so our largest cost is milk, right? So we're a commodity purchaser, and that's challenging. Just like every U.S. household is seeing right now in terms of what costs are, and hey, what's the bill this week? What was the bill last week? How did it go up that much? For us, we look at what are the flavors that we have that we're able to, we have some elasticity there. We also have some, sorbet or Italian ice-based products, which help us from a margin perspective. But the biggest thing for us is, look, we are a novelty product, right? You see us, we're an impulse purchase. You're going to decide to buy it or not buy it at that time. We cannot go down on the ingredients and the integrity of our ingredients, because that's the reason that you want to spend $3.50, $4, in some cases more, for our ice cream. And thankfully, having went through a couple of economic storms, while the customers may not be interested in buying a new $1,500 flat screen TV or something like that, our individual cups are a nice little treat. I don't want to say recession proof because I'm not going to jinx myself, but for us, it's really, we have to get better in the field and how we bring product more efficiently. We don't want to tamper with the 14% or the premium base, because that's the reason why customers want to spend the money on it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to spend time with you and to learn more about Mini Melts and how you've been successful in growing the business. And it really is quite a success story. I guess you're only a couple years out of high school by the looks of you, right? So, but no, it's great to see a local company do so well and grow nationally. Very impressive. So congratulations. And again, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it.